Good morning, Professor Harrison. This is the Whole Food Group. My name is Era Chen.
Daniela Suarez.
Catalina Olavarria.
Today we're here to present the recommendation strategy for Whole Food Group.
Okay, so in order to better assess and develop and implement a strategy for Whole Foods from now on, we need to give a brief description of our current position in the market. In the past few years, Whole Foods has been facing a decrease in its earnings. It has accumulated year to date to around 2.6%, which has translated in a 5% decrease in net income. This has resulted in a drop of about half the price of the stock from a high of around $60 in June 2015 to a current stock price of around $30 as of December 1st of 2016. Part of the reason why we're not performing as expected is that we haven't been able to erase the perception on the customers' minds of a whole paycheck. We're still having trouble aligning our proposed quality of the products with the price we're charging. As a result, we have only been able to increase revenue by 2.8% this year, down from 9% last year. And in the past years, this growth has been growing or increasing at a decreasing rate, coupled with an increasing cost at an increasing rate. This has translated into decreasing earnings overall in the bottom line. And but in turn, Whole Foods management has been able to identify this and is now trying to address low-price competitors who are introducing products that have posed a threat to Whole Foods' position in the market. But this is the reason why we decided to introduce the 360 model and the 365 stores by Whole Foods, and the reason why we're still trying to offer quality at more affordable prices. There's an expansion plan applied right now that's intended to grow 1,000 new stores in 10 years, and with the coming analysis, we're gonna decide if this is sustainable and if we can do it, and if so, how.
Okay. Given today's situation, here's the proposal we have for you today. So we proposed a 3-year time frame strategy. We want to achieve the revenue growth by 5% by the 2019. We want to realize the cost saving of 2% on an annual basis. We also hope to expand the new store format, 365 store, to add into more 50 stores by 2019. So here are the 3 strategies we propose for you today. First of all, we want to regain our market share, to regain our customer base. We hope to launch a large-scale, well-rounded marketing campaign to revise our public image of our whole paycheck. We want to focus more on lifestyle, a people-based brand strategy. Second, we want to streamline our operation by centralizing our purchasing model, our staffing model, to achieve a cost saving and realize efficiency. Third, we want to achieve our top line growth by expand more 365 store to touch the available market in the low-end customer base in those food desert. We want to propose to you is the whole food, whole people, and whole life. So first of all, we'd like to give you an industry analysis. So the food retail industry is a 5.32 industry with players including grocery stores, mass merchandise, supermarket, drugstore, and convenience store. That's our vertical adjacency. Within the horizontal adjacency, the natural and the organic food gourmet sector located in the supermarket sector. And a horizontal player including conventional supermarket, supercenter, limited assortment, warehouse grocery, and the military commissionery. But the natural organic gourmet is one of the fast-growing sector with a CAGR of 8.2% on an annual basis. The drivers include per capita income, agriculture prices, urban population, healthy eating index. The leaders in natural and organic gourmet, including Whole Foods and Trader Joe's. The recent trend in this sector, including more retail giants, they start to venture into this sector. For example, Walmart, Costco, Kroger, Target, and Safeway, they all open up their new product line in the organic food sector. Therefore, as Whole Food, we have faced stiff competition from increasing more players in this industry. And if we look at the industry through the lens of quantified forces, the barrier to industry is medium because there's no license fee, but the existing supplier network and contract in place has posed a significant challenge for new entrants. The supplier bargaining power is also medium in this industry. That's largely due to, first of all, in recent years, there's a consolidation among the current US suppliers, which is smaller the number of suppliers available to the operators like Whole Foods. However, because of some of the employment of private label product, allow the food operator like Whole Foods to conceal the supplier identity and achieving their bargaining power in the bid system. Therefore, the supplier power in general is medium. If we look at the stress of substitution, is actually pretty high. This is largely the consumer. They have no zero switching costs. They can easily switch to other products, and that has posed a significant challenge for the natural food organic sector. If you look at the buyer power, buyer tends to have a high buyer power in the food natural organic industry. This is largely because of the large scale of different players, the competitiveness of the industry, and also the zero switching costs. That being said, if we look at the rivalry among current competitors, it's intense and accelerating.
Okay, so we'd like to move forward with our customer analysis. The natural and gourmet market size is approximately $98.6 million, and Whole Foods market share is 15%. So the current market is suburban and urban areas in the US, UK, and Canada, and these areas are inhabited by population and people that have the disposable income as well as the willingness to pay premium for products that add to their healthy lifestyle. An available market that we've identified is low-income neighborhoods considered food deserts. This means there's little to no grocery options in these areas, so competition is minimal, and this is a large growth opportunity for Whole Foods. A potential market would be international expansion, but it's not part of our strategy, and we have chosen to stick to the US, Canada, and the UK. We segmented our consumers two ways. First, by behavior, so people concerned with their well-being, they prioritize nutrition and value healthy lifestyles. And the second way we segmented the clients are by demographic. So we split them into three groups. The top is high-end clients, so they earn more than $40,000 a year. The second group is middle class, so they earn between $20,000 to $40,000 a year. And the last segment is low-end, which they earn less than $20,000 a year. Though we split it into three groups, we're only targeting the top and the bottom groups. This chart further describes our customer profile. So on the left-hand side, you see the annual income, and then horizontally, you can see how much they prioritize nutrition. The two boxes in yellow identify our target segments. So the first is people with annual income of over $40,000. And these consumers look for quality products to fit their healthy lifestyle. They have the disposable income as well as the willingness to pay for premium products. And then the lower segment is people with less than $20,000 as annual income. And these consumers look for quality products but don't have the money to shop at natural or gourmet grocers. They want healthy options and prefer them but don't necessarily have them available in their areas. This top segment is more targeted towards the original Whole Foods store model, and the lower one is towards 365 store models. So the stereotypical consumer profile, the first is our high-end customers. So these are affluent suburban moms, wives, stay-at-home parents that look for quality options to lead a healthy lifestyle. They buy basic groceries as well as trend products at Whole Foods. They are often busy with activities, social events, and are up to date with food trends as well as fad diets. The low-end customer is a working mom with kids normally under the age of 18. They struggle economically and help provide for their family. So they look to feed their kids a quality food, but don't always have the option to do so. They understand the value as well as the benefits of quality food and will always look to do that, considering it'll be within their budget.
So in order to better understand Whole Foods' position in the market right now, we need to focus on the internal strengths and weaknesses that Whole Foods possesses, as well as the external threats and opportunities that affect its position in the market as well. So Whole Foods' strength right now is that it's a well-established brand in the U.S. economy. It's the first established grocer in the United States, and it's the most renowned retailer in the natural, organic, and gourmet foods. Its customers value the store environment and the overall experience provided, and this has developed a loyal customer base whenever customers are trying to find a place to buy organic and natural foods for a high price, regardless of the price based on the quality. The weaknesses that affect Whole Food is mainly the bigger industry characteristic of having high fixed costs, and more specific to Whole Foods is labor costs that lead to even higher prices than Whole Foods could justify, along with its quality positioning for the product. Fuck that. Okay, déjame cambiar. So the weaknesses that affect Whole Foods right now is a high fixed cost that affect the whole industry, as well as, sorry, I'm so sorry. Lo paro.
Déjalo.
Lo vuelvo a hacer. If I don't practice, I'm a mess, but whatever.
Cool.
The internal weaknesses that characterize Whole Foods right now is a high fixed cost that comes along with Whole Foods pertaining to the broader industry of the supermarkets. This is coupled with the high labor costs for Whole Foods that they need to implement to promote a better customer experience when customers arrive to the stores. The prices right now are perceived too high by the customers. This has developed a sense of a whole paycheck. Customers do not necessarily feel they are receiving a high quality enough product to justify the high prices that Whole Foods is charging for. These products are seen as luxury items. This is a bad thing for Whole Foods because luxury items are only purchased when there is additional disposable income in the hands of the customers. And this is not always the case. Since food is a basic need, when customers don't have disposable income, they'll easily switch to a competitor's products. Furthermore, Whole Foods have had conservative advertisement. You don't see a huge marketing campaign for Whole Foods, and this has been counterproductive to them because they could reach a higher market segment if they had more advertising. External forces that play into the current position of Whole Foods are the following threats. For example, there's increasing competition. There is a growing trend for health and wellness, and other market players have become aware of this and have successfully entered the market. There is a low barrier to entry for other established supermarkets that wish to extend their product lines and enter the health and natural trend by introducing product lines that are low cost and natural organic. For Whole Foods, it's also hard to compete with lower prices given the before mentioned high costs. And additionally, if they lowered their prices too much, they would enter into direct competition with other average supermarkets, and this is a much more crowded space and even more competitive for Whole Foods. There is a lot of volatility in the macroeconomic environment, and as mentioned before, this is a threat for Whole Foods right now and in the future, because if there is an economic recession, or if customers have less disposable income, they'll switch to competitors' products, and Whole Foods sales will continue to decline. On a positive note, however, this trend for health and wellness is still latent and growing. Because of this, there's the rise of these new stores, chains, and franchises that are trying to enter this market. These are sources of potential acquisitions for Whole Foods from which they can capitalize on. Whole Foods is also trying to become more self-sufficient by implementing a leaner supply chain. This will reduce their costs. And we still have the opportunity to tap into the market segment that desires quality and nutritious and organic and fresh products, but at a more affordable price. We also have the opportunity of expanding into international markets However, this is not aligned with the strategies that we're going to propose next. The current competitors, as I mentioned before, we have examples of Sprouts, Target, Kroger, Walmart, and Costco. These are examples of established supermarkets that now decided to venture into the health and take advantage of the health and nutritious trend. And they have introduced more natural product lines at lower prices, taking part of the market share that Whole Foods had before, as well as Trader Joe's, and potential competitors that can still pose even more threats to Whole Foods or any other supermarket that decides to implement the same strategy as the ones mentioned before, and farmers market that also drive customers away from supermarkets and into more fresh products, and as well as more natural and healthy organic store chains that will develop in the future or that will expand, taking more market share away from Whole Foods.
So given this background information, we'd like to move forward and present our strategies. Our first strategy is to increase market share through a branding campaign. So we would like to build the Whole Foods brand in order to increase brand presence, brand value, as well as brand recognition. This increases store traffic, it boosts customer loyalty, as well as improving the customer's in-store experience, all of which increase sales. The graphic on the right is just a graphic description of the execution of the plan. So first we have to define the purpose, the delivery, the resonance, as well as the difference of the campaign. And then in the amplify column, it's the distribution channels of the campaign, and then the growth is the financial result of this. So step one, as I mentioned before, would be define the basics. Whole Foods does have a current vision statement, which is at Whole Foods Market, healthy means a whole lot more. It goes beyond good for you, it also encompasses the greater good. Whether you are hungry for better or simply food curious, we offer a place for you to shop where value is inseparable from values. So Whole Foods right now is emphasizing not only the quality of their goods, but also their corporate social responsibility. In order to move forward with the branding campaign, we need to determine the essence of the company, its personality, their value proposition, as well as the customer relationship. Step two would be execution and monitoring. So the first would be determining the diffusion channels, primarily social media and BTL, creating the advertising campaign that would be brand specific, not product specific, in order to increase the value of the brand and not necessarily focus on pricing or inventory or other things like that. And then we'd have to implement an adequate CRM channel in order to monitor the effectiveness of the campaigns and be able to react on time, as social media is an ongoing process. The graphics to the right, the first is a description of the different parts of a brand campaign and all of the ones we have to determine to move forward. And the second is an example of HubSpot, which is a CRM software that helps you monitor the effectiveness of your campaigns.
Our second strategy will focus more on the operations side. As Danielle mentioned earlier, high fixed costs, high staffing costs has been a major problem. High fixed costs, high staffing costs has been a major problem for Whole Foods. We want to address this problem with a more centralized model. So if you look at supply chain for the Whole Foods, they include supplier, transporters, regional warehouse, local stores, and the end customer. Whole Foods currently cover the regional warehouse and the local stores supply chain part. Based on their current strategy, Whole Foods has a completely decentralized model for their supply chain. They have 12 geographic divisions and the national headquarters in Austin. And all the stores they are sourcing locally to have a short and flexible supply chain. The benefit is Whole Foods can respond to local demand quickly. However, they are not able to achieve economies of scale, and it's really hard for them to secure the product consistency and have a very centralized pricing model. And if you look at inventory part, Whole Foods doesn't have an enterprise-wide system to manage their inventory system. The only company-wide model is their accounting software. Therefore, in terms of the inventory management, it's more manual basis rather than digitalized. Therefore, our strategy proposed is to digitalize all the supply chain and inventory management. We want to introduce a product platform that can partner with more digital operators checking for to replace the in-house enterprise resource planning system that are different for every single buying region, but with one centralized platform that will host all product information within the one central platform. Also, we want to introduce the centralized, we want to have a national headquarters to in charge of the purchasing model. Therefore, Whole Foods is able to achieve the purchase economy scale, which will help them to lower the price. And on the inventory part, we want to replace the 4 legacy system with one new point of sale system. In the past, Whole Foods was able to expand their store by acquiring a local player. But however, when this player continue their operation, they tend to use the old legacy system to with their point of sale. And we want to do is to centralize and make the whole entire system consistent, which will allow Whole Foods to better manage their inventory system, but also help them to provide in-time immediate coupon to achieve more customer. Our strategy number 3 will focus on the top line growth of 5% we mentioned earlier today. So we want to achieve this revenue growth through the new store format 365. As I mentioned earlier in the industry analysis, there are more competitors like Walmart, Kroger, Safeway. They enter the natural and organic gourmet sector. With the pricing advantage, they are able to offer the product at a more affordable price. But for Whole Foods, that's a huge available market there, and that's a market that grab to go. They also want to venture to this sector. Therefore, they introduced the 365 store format in the food desert area. This is the type of store that has a size ranging from 25 to 30,000 square foot, which is much smaller than the traditional Whole Foods store, which is about 40 to 50,000 square foot. They also introduced 365 store with a limited assortment, with a more centralized focused assortment, about 7,000 SKU rather than the 12,000 SKU which is normally in the Whole Foods stores. They want to currently 365 have about 3 stores in US nationwide, but Whole Foods want to expand that stores. We want to launch the store, increase to 50 by 2019, which will also help Whole Foods to realize their goal of 1,000 store expansion strategy. And the 2 major innovations we have for 365 is private label products and food stands. So as we know, one of the competitors, Trader Joe's, is renowned for their private label product. They have about 40% in their total assortment. But for Whole Foods, it has been historically about 18%, with 2 major brands, 365 Everyday Value and Whole Foods Market. But however, what we want to propose is to increase that amount from 18% to 30% by 2020. We want to add more variety organic products that can adapt to local flavor. And the benefit of private label product is allow Whole Foods to achieve economy of scale and have a more pricing power of supplier. Therefore, they can offer the product at a lower price, especially with the economic model of 365. And also, with a private label product, Whole Foods can also establish product differentiation to help them compete with other competitors. Another thing we want to add for Whole Foods is the food stand part. We want to introduce more local franchisors to enter the store to open their food stand, which will help Whole Foods to adapt to local food stand. And we encourage those franchisors to use the ingredient from Whole Foods to produce their local dishes, which will encourage customers to purchase those dishes and purchase ingredients which is produced by Whole Foods. For example, we will launch the product in Southwest, Southwest acai bowl, or in Chicago we can launch the deep dish whole wheat pizza to adapt to the local flavor. This food stand increasement will also attract more millennial customer, will increase the customer staying time in the store and adding more consumption. Lastly, we want to highlight 365 store is one of the new experimental innovation for Whole Foods. We want to use 365 store to attract more millennial customer. in that sense, we'll introduce more innovation initiative. For example, we'll establish a reward program to help to provide more digital coupon to better reach our millennial customer who is more tech savvy, use mobile app more for their grocery shopping. We'll also launch like 20-day Whole Food Clean service, which is provide a whole entire package or healthy eating plan for those millennial customers to help them like to cultivate their healthy eating trend, and also help them to focus on whole food as a service, as a whole entire package solution rather than products. Given the strategy above, we are confident that we will achieve our goal for reaching revenue growth for 5% and achieve cost saving of 2%, as well as expand the store to 50 by 2019. That's our presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.